Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. Governor Chris Christie of New Jersey has a lot on his mind right now. The rumored 2016 hopeful just made a gamble that could affect everything from the balance of power in the U.S. Senate to his own political future after calling for a special election to fill the empty Senate seat of the late Democratic Senator Frank Lautenberg.
This is about guaranteeing the people of New Jersey both a choice and a voice in the process and the representation that they deserve in Washington. Whoever is going to be our next United States Senator should be nominated by a primary of the people and voted on by all the people of the state of New Jersey.
So it is game on in New Jersey, and let's bring in our political panel to talk about it. CNN contributor and Democratic strategist Van Jones, CNN contributor and Republican strategist Anna Navarro, and Peter Baker, White House correspondent for the New York Times. Anna, you heard Dick Armey in the open. He is very upset. Republicans out there very, very upset that Chris Christie did not just give us this seat to a Republican for the next year and a half. Did he make the wrong decision?
I don't think so, and I think that's why he's governor and has got great numbers in a blue state of New Jersey. And people have to remember, you know, Dick Armey needs to remember, Chris Christie's not representing Texas. He's representing New Jersey and the people of New Jersey. I think what he did was actually pretty smart. Look, I've seen this in Florida play out with Governor Charlie Crist, former Governor Charlie Crist, when he did his appointment. And it can be, being able to fill a vacancy in the U.S. Senate for a governor can be the best of times and it can be the worst of times. It can be a huge political gift and it can be a huge curse. Because almost no matter what you do, you end up making some folks angry. You could appoint the reincarnation of Mother Teresa and some people would still be antagonized and angry. So I think he left it to the people. It's the people's choice.
Van, there is this interesting coincidence, shall we say, that the special election will be in October, not November, when Christie himself will be on the ballot. And so let's assume that your friend, the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Cory Booker, let's assume he's the nominee. So he is on, if he's on the ticket in October, then he will not be bringing a whole bunch of Democratic voters to the polls in November when Christie...
This is a very interesting thing. First of all, usually in politics, you have these two big personalities, and you're kind of looking for the clash of the titans. You know, you want Chris Christie and Cory Booker. This has been the dance of the titans. Cory decides not to run for governor against Chris Christie. He doesn't want the conflict. And now Chris Christie's bending himself into a pretzel to make sure he doesn't have to even deal with Cory Booker's coattails in November. These two big figures who are going to have huge roles in their parties are in the same state, and they are just dancing around each other. This is about Cory Booker. This is about this governor does not want to deal with Cory Booker. That's all it says.
And yet, Peter, he probably will have, Cory Booker will probably have a primary. They're talking about Congressman Frank Pallone running. He can run now and not have to worry about losing his congressional seat because he's not up until 2014. So this actually, in a way, encourages competition for Cory Booker in some ways.
It does, but it accelerates the process. We're not talking about a primary next year, which is what they had been looking at before Senator Lautenberg died. So now it advantages the candidates who have access to money, who've already been doing the groundwork, spade work, getting activists lined up, getting political consultants lined up, and that's going to work in favor, I think, of anybody like Mayor Booker, who's been eyeing the seat for a while.
I had to tell you, this notion that Chris Christie is afraid of Cory Booker is a little laughable. Let's just remember that Cory Booker got scared out of the governor's race, as you said, even though most Democrats in the state wanted him to run. Let's also remember that there's still a lot of Democrats in the state who are a little upset at Cory Booker because he basically pushed out an old and infirm Frank Lautenberg from running again before Lautenberg was ready to make the announcement. That didn't go well. And you know what? Look, New Jersey is New Jersey, and there will be a primary. And it will be tough. And, you know, Chris Christie's numbers, Van, are at, 60% approval.
Here's what I love about
I don't think he's got to be afraid of...
He's about to say what he loves about you. You might as well let him go on.
Exactly. Here's what I love about you. I honestly believe that you think that Chris Christie may have made this decision for some laudable reason, that he just actually loves the voters of New Jersey, and I think that's great. Here's what I think is actually going on. Chris Christie needs to be able to win by massive numbers in November to make the case, first of all, to slow up his state and make the case for himself to the country in 2016. If Cory Booker were running, the Democratic coattails, it wouldn't take him out, but it would take his numbers down to minimal, and this is about Cory. He does not want to deal with Cory Booker.
Friend, it's a little funny for you to call me. It's a little funny for you to call me the bright-eyed idealist. You cry every time President Barack Obama opens his mouth.
Not just when he opens his mouth, when he wakes up in the morning, I shed a tear.
One other thing, though, about the coattails is that it also helps Chris Christie get a more Republican legislature.
Absolutely.
But let's move on to the courts. President Obama is naming 3 nominees to fill the holes on the 11-member federal appeals court in Washington. He was pretty clear about wanting to see them confirmed without any trouble from Congress.
I didn't just wake up one day and say, let's add 3 seats to the District Court of Appeals. These are open seats. And the Constitution demands that I nominate qualified individuals to fill those seats. What I'm doing today is my job. I need the Senate to do its job.
Peter, break it down. What is President Obama doing here?
Well, you don't see a president get out in the Rose Garden very often to nominate appeals court level jobs. I mean, those are normally Supreme Court level things. It has happened before, though. I mean, President Bush did this in 2001. Same reason. He wanted to challenge the Senate with the other parties' obstructionists to make them embarrassed about stopping his judicial appointees. In this case, this court, the D.C. Circuit Court, second most powerful thought to be in the country. He's setting up some people who might be future Supreme Court nominees. A lot is at stake.
All right. Thank you so much, Van, Anna, and Peter. Appreciate it.